Welcome back to another episode of Magic's in the Mess, the go-to podcast for ambitious women ready to stop pretending, start aligning, and finally build success your way. I'm your host, Danielle McKinley, speaker, business and wealth strategist, and your go-to problem-solving hype girl. Here, we'll help you unlock powerful mindset shifts, discover your magic, and bring your dream life into reality. Each week, I'll deliver raw stories, proven business strategies, and powerful transformations with industry leaders to activate the magic in you. So if you're ready to ditch the pressure, the performative BS, and the noise telling you who you should be, hit subscribe and let's make some magic. Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Magic's in the Mess. My guest today is a couple. They are called the Healing Couple. I've got Dr. Cory and Jess with me, and they are the founders of Reset Breathwork. Cory and Jess are the secret weapon for entrepreneurs who want less stress and more success. From living in their car to building a thriving multi-six-figure business, they've turned burnout into energy on demand and now teach others how to do the exact same. With their no BS approach and massive global impact, they prove that their breath really is their superpower. So let's get into it so we can have the superpower too. Dr. Cory and Jess, welcome to Magic's in the Mess.
Hey.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to capture your story today. Breathwork changed my life. So I'm excited to hear about the stories and the impact that you have done. So let's jump right in. When did you know that breathwork was a superpower? Yeah, we're going.
I guess if you want to get really into it, I think before we had met, I was in medical school in Arizona and really struggling with my health.
Yeah.
I know maybe on your podcast, most people can't see me, but I'm tall. I'm like 6'6", 220 pounds. And at the time I was around 153 pounds. And so I was literally in medical school, sick.
Skeleton.
Yeah. Not able to nourish myself, gut issues, autoimmunity, pain, all sorts of things. And so I decided to do a crazy thing, which is go into the middle of the Amazon and drink ayahuasca for like a month.
I am here for this. The fact that we're straight to ayahuasca, this is going to be epic.
Right.
We don't mess around.
Up to that point, I drank a little bit, smoked a little marijuana here and there, but nothing like that.
Yeah.
And so I have to say that was a huge turning point for me, realizing the capacity for the body to heal itself. And the biggest thing for me, it was actually around the relationship that I was in.
Okay.
And so finding the pathways and the avenues to actually advocate for myself, what I wanted, what my needs were, where I wanted to go, was actually a huge part of my healing process and had almost nothing to do with my anatomical body. And so how did breathwork come into it?
Yeah.
So fast forward 12 years later, run into this amazing human being. We're seeing each other. She's in San Diego. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona with my practice, and she is taking a yoga teacher training at the time. And in the yoga teacher training, one of the modalities they got introduced into was breathwork. And so how I kind of got informed with her was we would have late night conversations, the one where you're talking till 3 a.m. and you fall asleep.
And then you can't stop thinking about each other and you're like, wait, I want to do that again. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's telling me all this stuff about this yoga teacher training and the breathwork journeys. And she's talking about I met my ancestors. I went through this spiritual tunnel and came out as an eagle.
And you're like, are they serving ayahuasca?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I'm thinking. And I was like, sweetie, are you sure they didn't slip something in your drink? What's going on here? And so my medical mind is just trying to analyze and figure out what
Strange
is this.
How that happens.
Yeah. And so fast forward with that, she's like, well, I want to do the teacher training. And I'm like, with breath work, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, count me in. I'm in. And so I went to this yurt in Southern California and did this really intense breathwork technique for an hour. And I popped up, deer in headlights popped up, what just happened? Because I feel like I did the ayahuasca without the ayahuasca. And that's when I realized breathwork is incredibly powerful.
Okay, so we have to step back because I know what ayahuasca is, but somebody listening to this might not understand the depth of it. So let's break down in your words, in your experience, what it does, how it it speeds up the healing process and is used for, you know, PTSD and all kinds of things.
Absolutely. Well, I think there's a lot that we don't know, but what we do know is that it's actually two components. So it's the ayahuasca root and then also trichruna, which is a leaf. And so those two combined together allow the release of what's called DMT in the body. And so DMT is called the spirit molecule. It's in high levels when we're born and also when we die. But you can also produce large amounts in the brain, in the lungs, breath work, right? And so the caveat is that this molecule has a huge ability to just regenerate our minds, regenerate our bodies on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level. And so that in a nutshell is what it is. And so during most ayahuasca journeys, what happens is you come into a yurt, you're surrounded by shamans, you drink it, and it's almost like cough syrup. It sounds like you have a lot of experience. Yeah, imagine like drinking cough syrup, and then you wait 45 minutes and you go along this journey. And what it does is it really does dampen the conscious mind, like that spongy outer cortex that we think is us, and takes you into deep parts of your nervous system. And through that process, there could be emotions, memories, visions that come up. I mean, a big thing for me was my future daughter, which still isn't here yet. And allow you to, and allow you to heal. So that's in a nutshell what ayahuasca is.
Okay, I love that because it's important for if someone doesn't know or they're curious, you know.
Right.
So Jess, for you, have you done ayahuasca?
I have not.
Okay, but she's done breath work. So you connect on a deep level, right? And then you realize, okay, wow, she's getting this experience without having to do the ayahuasca.
Right.
So I imagine that that's when you guys were like, okay, there's something here.
Yes.
At what point did you start putting that into practice?
Pretty quickly, just a few short months after we trained together. And we said, this is one of the most powerful tools that we have both experienced on our journey. When it comes to our physical health, I mean, just our spiritual journey. So why not come together and share this with other people, right? It was really for me bubbling up inside where it's like, it is selfish to not share this. Like, this has been such a gift in my life and then within our relationship too. It just cracked something open doing that so early on together. It just deepened our level of connection and trust so much to the point where I remember we were in New York City in an Uber and the driver just like looked in the rearview mirror, like at us and was like, how long have you guys been together? And we're like, well, just guess. And he's like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years. We're like, try 5 or 6 months. Right. But so early on, we just skipped the surface level stuff.
I love that.
And so coming back to teaching this together, we're like, well, let's bring together all of these, just all of the things on our journey, but specifically breathwork to other people. So we hosted our first workshop in San Diego at this like little coffee shop, which at the time was called Current Collective. And we're like, can we rent out your space? And we didn't really think much of it, but we were just so excited to host this and bring people together and breathe. And it ended up selling out like really quickly. And we filled the room and it was such a special night. And people were coming up to us afterwards and had done, especially people who had done a lot of work, had done a lot of personal development, and they're like, I have never experienced anything like this. And I want to tell my best friend, I want to bring my mom, my sister, like everyone needs to do this. When's your next event? And we're like, what do you mean?
We had nothing ready. We had no next step. We had a piece of paper.
This is what I love about people that are doing cool, big things is you always think too small in the beginning.
Yep.
Totally.
And it's such a reminder. I love capturing these stories because it's like, guys, think bigger, go bigger. Okay. So everybody's giving you this incredible feedback and you have nothing planned. So what did you do?
So what we did was we found a sheet of paper. We like ripped out of a journal and we said, put your name and your email address down. And that's what started our newsletter, right? Our mailing list.
Hi friends, taking messy action.
Totally. Exactly. Just like on the fly, right?
Yeah.
So on the fly, name and email, we'll get back to you, right? After that, we close out, we drive back to our little beach bungalow in San Diego. We park in the driveway and we were just reminiscing on just the powerful breakthroughs that people were having, things that people shared during that. And I looked at Cory and I was like, we have to keep doing this. And I didn't know what that meant at the time, what that was going to look like, right? All I knew is that we had to keep doing this and we had to be doing this together. And so we hosted another event probably 2 months later.
Okay.
And then we hosted another one in Phoenix. Then we went back to the Midwest, where we're both originally from. We did one in Wisconsin, right? So we were like, let's just keep doing these pop-up workshops. And then it was just like one thing after another, which then it turned into group programs. It turned into now teacher training, all these other things. But all I knew was we had to keep doing this.
Keep doing this. Okay. So one of the things that I got to know about you guys before we started recording today is that you at one point were living in your car. So I'm really curious where that part of the journey fits in. Was it before or after the first breathwork shop? Was it when you guys started going? Like, take us there, because I'm sure there was a lot of learnings that came from that, and I would love to dive into that part of the story.
We were doing a number of events at that point. So we were doing a number of events, and people were like, you guys just keep selling them out. Like, you guys are crushing it.
Yeah.
And what people didn't know from just seeing from the outside, that inside we were living out of our car at certain points. And we could barely make ends meet, be able to afford rent and groceries and everything in San Diego. And we were just starting out our business, right? And it was I would say that was a rock bottom moment in our relationship. I think we've had rock bottom moments like individually, but that was a big one in our relationship, and a part of our story that we didn't tell for the longest time until just very recently, because it held so much shame, at least for me.
Sure. Yeah.
There was a lot of that, because I'm like, how could we be like crushing it? People think, they're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And we're serving other people, and people are getting these huge breakthroughs, and it's like, we feel so fulfilled, but like, there's like a huge gap here.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the last time that we slept in our car, because we did it a number of times. We were illegally renting out our place, our beach bungalow, on Airbnb just to be able to like barely make it for that month. And I'll never forget the last time, because we parked our car in Sunset Cliffs neighborhood, which is one of is a really
super bougie.
Yeah, super bougie. Fast forward to a couple of years after that, we actually lived in Sunset Cliffs. But at that time, we wanted to find like a nice neighborhood, a nice place to park for the evening. And everyone in that neighborhood, they know each other's cars. So they knew like, they don't belong here.
This car's not.
So they called us in and were reporting us. And this guy walked up and he peeked in, and we were about to go to sleep, and I like lock eyes with him. And that's where the shame really hit. Because like, how are we here? And we're about to get reported, and the cops are about to show up. So then we are like scrambling, crawling to, he got into the driver's seat, I'm getting into the passenger seat. And I'm just like, it just doesn't,
the two worlds didn't match.
It didn't add up, right? And Cory turned to me and was like, we are never doing this again. Never. Yeah. And the way that he said that, I knew he was for real, and that we were never going to end up in a situation, and we never did. And his level of conviction really, really turned things around.
Oh, man. Here's what I want to say. Thank you for trusting me to share this story, because here's what I can tell you. As a coach, there are so many women that I work with specifically that are conflicted in, I'm doing this work, but I'm struggling financially, or I don't know where the next client is going to come from, and I'm supposed to show up online and act like everything is fine, and it's draining, and then it kicks in imposter syndrome. So by you sharing your story, you give someone else permission that's in that situation right now listening to this going, I might have to sleep in my car. I remember when I had to do that. So thank you for sharing it and for being brave. And there's no shame in it. There really isn't, because you were serving, right? And you decided, you made a decision. Cory, you made a decision that night. This is never happening again. So after that, how did you make it not happen again?
Oh my gosh.
Well, one thing I want to,
about,
there's so many layers to this, right? I would say the next part was, it started with the conviction, right? The deciding.
Yep.
Part of the decision the definition of deciding is to cut off.
Yeah.
It is to cut off all other options, possibilities, and say, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after, we went to an event hosted by actually another couple that we really aspired and looked up to.
Yeah.
We aspired to be like, and part of what they were doing was breath work amongst a lot of other things.
Yeah.
At the end of that event, they shared in this packed room that you cannot actually make a living doing this type of work. Spiritual work, transformational work.
Yeah, right? Our mentors.
And people were like applauding that as if it was noble to say like, oh, if you're like really being of service, like you can't make a living doing that kind of work. That's on the side. And then you have to like go get a real job. Yeah. And Cory and I were in the back of the room on our yoga mats, and we slowly turned towards each other and we mouthed.
We can cuss here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, they said, fuck that.
Right. But we mouthed it because we couldn't say that out loud in the room, right?
Yeah.
But so we mouthed it to each other. But yeah, we said, fuck that.
Yeah.
That just ignited a whole nother level of conviction for both of us, where it was like, hold up. I'm not taking that as truth. Like, we will make a living doing this type of work. I don't know how, but I'm going to find mentors that actually
subscribe to something else.
Hold that possibility. And I believe that you can make a living doing anything, and especially doing what you love and serving other people. And so we decided that day as well that we were going to do that for ourselves. We were going to figure out the how, because the why was so strong. And we were going to show other people once we do it, because we didn't want to be like what those mentors were to us.
Oh, so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's, that's why choosing a mentor is so important, and who you surround yourself with, and who you're like, you see somebody. I feel like we so often put people on a pedestal, and then when we peel it back, like they're just human too. Yeah. And if they're not aligned with the same thing, next.
Right.
Next.
Yes. Love you.
Bye.
Next.
Lesson release. We are on to the next.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have this experience. You're sleeping in your car. You decide not to sleep in your car ever again. You're convicted in that. And I think it's so important for the listeners to know that that goes for anything. It doesn't have to get to a point where you're like, I'm going to decide not to sleep in my car. It can be, I'm going to decide to take that freaking dream in my head and bring it to life.
Yeah, that's right.
As long as you decide. So you do that. Then you go to this event. You look up to these people. They tell you can't make a living in it. What happens next?
Well, I think it really just comes down to priorities.
Yeah.
Because for us, it was like, we were in California. We love to smoke a little weed every once in a while. We like to go to the beach. Like, we were casual in our business. And when we got that conviction, we just showed up in a professional way, and people felt that. And we also started thinking bigger. I know we were talking about that before the podcast. It's like, we just started thinking bigger. So it's like, okay, we're teaching these classes. Yeah. What would it look like if we did an 8-week program? What would it look like for us to poll our audience and ask them, hey, where would you like to go in the world with us? Oh, Bali? Okay, let's do that. We've never been to Bali before. We'll actually get there a week before you, and then map out an entire 7-day experience halfway around the world. Oh yeah, we did that.
Yeah, and
let's do it again.
That's
so like,
incredible.
That's really when things started to move in more of a positive direction financially, because we started to step outside of ourselves.
But you said something that's really significant that I think it's really important we circle back to, and that is you started taking yourself seriously.
Yep.
So I challenge anyone listening to this that is feeling frustrated or feeling stuck or feeling like, man, I'm putting in the reps. Be really honest with yourself. Are you really? Or are you just being busy?
Yes. Yeah, I think a lot of people are just really busy.
Yeah.
And then we started saying no too.
Yes.
Oh, I love this one. The power of finding your no friend. Like, I call her my no sister. I'm like, what's up, sis? We saying no? Yeah, no. Like, getting really confident and being able to say no is such a power move as an entrepreneur. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think a big thing for us was around like, I'm not going to poo-poo this word too bad, but it's like the perpetual collaborators, where it's like, oh, let's collab. Let's do this together. And it's like, you're in that circle of people that are always collaborating, and then they're actually not moving anywhere. You know what I'm talking?
Well,
collaboration can be really powerful.
They're running away
from doing the thing on their own. There's what I believe is there's this deep pushed down version of them that they don't feel is worthy of doing it on their own.
Yes.
And they think that they can maybe pull it out if they do it with somebody.
Yeah.
So if that hit home and you're going, I feel seen, holy crap, lean into that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and there's nothing wrong with collaborations per se, but we were just in such a collaboration, like you do this for me, I do that for you. There's no exchange of money. And it got really sticky. And so exercising our no around that. I would also say the biggest thing, gosh, what was a really big thing too that we did? I mean, the mentorship was huge, but I just think, deadlines. That's the unsexy, sexy of business. Deadlines.
You guys are hitting so many good analogies that tie into business. This is so great.
What we really, and it's so funny. We just taught a masterclass the other day, and one of our clients, she went through a teacher training, and she's like, I'm so pumped. I have this signature program, and I'm like super pumped for her. And she hasn't created a program before, so it's like, you go get it. But I'm trying to convey this message of deadline because she just wants to get, and it's good sometimes, like get into like the aspects of, do I want to do live calls and Q&A, like all the bells and whistles, the glitz and glamour, right? And I was like, well, how are you going to get people into this program? And she's like, well, I haven't thought about that. And then we got into it a little bit more, and she maybe wanted to do a master class. And then once again, she wanted to lean back and do all the glitz and glam with the master class. And I was like, do me a favor, open your calendar right now.
Yeah.
Pick a date.
Yep.
And you could tell she just got, you get sweaty, your nervous system gets reactive. But the greatest thing that we've ever done for our business, especially when it came around turning things financially, is taking ourselves seriously and then saying, we're going to do this thing on this date. It's in the calendar.
And you took messy action. I mean, you rented out the coffee shop. You didn't think big enough. Then it was like, whoa, we didn't really think this through. And you grabbed a piece of paper.
Yep.
And you just went for it.
Yep.
And we just went, you were at Powerhouse too. And Lori Harder, love her to death. She says it perfect. Done is better than perfect.
Yes.
Done is better than perfect. And if you spin your wheels for too long, you'll keep iterating and iterating and iterating and iterating. And then your magic will never get out there. Ever. I love that. So where's the deadline?
Where's
Man,
the
we are
deadline?
triggering people today. I am here for it.
I want people to
I'm
have
here for
successful
it.
businesses.
Yes,
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Right.
I want people to thrive and get out of the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know?
And live the dream that's in your head that can be your reality. And you guys are such proof of that. So I
We
love
sell
it.
breath.
You sell breath. You literally, it's free to breathe.
We've helped 40,000 people breathe.
I love it. Let's dive a little bit deeper into that.
Sure.
Okay. Because what you do is powerful. And Jess, I'm going to come to you because we just both went to Powerhouse, although we didn't get to see each other there. Dang it. But I saw your post. And if you haven't been to Powerhouse Women, it's really hard to explain what that room is like. And you went through some stuff. It can be triggering. It can be confronting. It can be motivational. There's lots of different things. And I believe that room gives you what you need, not necessarily what you want. And you experienced something. And the gist of what I got was that you had some friends there that helped you breathe. And it pulled you out of it. Would you be open to sharing a little bit about that story?
Absolutely. Yeah. So speaking of, you can set an intention, you can set a goal, but like the universe will always give you exactly what you need.
Yeah.
And what I asked for from the universe on the drive up to Powerhouse, I'm driving up from Gilbert to Scottsdale, and two of my intentions were, one was to receive. We pour into a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to show up and just receive and just be open, like show me what I need to see. And the second intention was really was along those lines.
Yeah.
Right. To receive. And I can't fully remember what it was, but it was like an hour into the event, and Brittany Noel was the speaker, and she
cracked me open too.
She cracked everybody open in that room. We're like, okay, we're going
was
deep.
Was that the therapist?
Yes, she was fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out Brittany.
Yes, shout out Brittany, first speaker. We're just going there, right? And what she shared was along the lines of really putting down the suffering, the feeling like you're a burden, like the sacrifice. And I resonated so deeply with that because she talked about that, how like that was playing out in childhood, and that was the same for me.
Yeah.
Both of my parents are deaf. And so I stepped into a role very early on where I was taking care of my parents. I was taking care of a lot of their needs. And so I just learned from a very early age to do so, that my needs are not as important as other people around me. And I have to make sure that everybody else is good before I can even look at what I actually need.
Yeah.
And that showed up in our business in a lot of ways. But so fast forward to the, back to the Powerhouse Women event. I mean, it just, I was just tears, like not even just like my eyes are welling up, but like my whole body is releasing and like crying out.
Yeah.
Where that was a moment for me where it was like, it ends here as far as me feeling like having needs are a burden to other people.
Yeah.
And a burden to Cory.
Yeah. I mean, even in our relationship, like one thing that we really struggle with is her not naming and claiming her desires on a lot of aspects within our relationship. And it's a lot of me being like, hey, sweetie, like, you want to go do this or get a massage or like go to, like it's a lot of that.
Yeah. And you can't express your desires. We don't even know when they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what
and
my
especially
desires
being
were.
the man, it's like, what can I can't fulfill on anything if you have no desires.
Yeah. And then your primal instinct is fucked because you're like, I'm not showing up.
Yep. Yep.
Wow. This was your car moment. This was your last night in the car.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The same thing, right?
Okay.
To decide that like, that is not going to be my story any longer.
Yeah.
It has been for a long time, but no longer do I have to feel like I'm a burden and I have to like sacrifice my needs and my wants for everyone else. And I had to step out of the room because it just, again, just like full body release. And then it immediately turned into like an emotional hangover. I had an awful headache. I started getting nauseous. And it's lunchtime. There's all these women coming out of the ballroom. And I'm like, there's just so much energy. Then people are like, hey, Jess. And I'm like,
so meant to be.
oh my gosh. And I'm having these conversations like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm not feeling too good. And to even just say that and let people know I'm not doing okay right now.
Yeah,
the timing of the tests that were coming to be like, are you going to name your need? Are you going to pretend like you're okay? Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And so then I had to ask myself, what do I really need right now? And I'm like, I need a quiet place where I can lay down. I'm not going to force myself to power through lunch and sit down at a table and network because I have to get my money's worth and I'm here for this event. I have to make the most of it.
Yeah.
And just like hustle so hard. It was like, no, I went to the volunteer staff and asked if they had a room. They didn't. They said, you can go down the hall, turn the corner and just lay down. And that's what I did. I laid down and I allowed the staff members to just literally like hold me. And for like a good while.
The staff did this?
The staff did this. Shout out to the Powerhouse Women staff and volunteers. They are incredible. Like they care so deeply.
Yeah.
And they stayed with me for like an amount of time that just started to feel really uncomfortable for me. Where it got to the point where I was like, oh, no, I'm good. Even asking, do you want me to still sit with you? And my soul was like, yes. But my mind's like, no. Like, and I listened to my soul. And I said, yes, I would like if you continue to sit with me. What else asking, what else do you need? And like, just, I need a juice. I need this. I need that. And it was provided. And I got to receive that. And then a few hours later, I felt better. I, again, still continued to honor what I needed. I sat on the periphery of the room instead of going back into the middle of the room and where everyone else was. Like, it was okay. It was okay. And to trust that, this was the other intention, to trust that I will receive exactly what I need and what is meant for me will not miss me.
Let's say that again.
What is meant for me will not miss me.
You hear that, friends?
So trusting that even if I'm not in the middle of all the action and I'm back in the room, I'm not missing out on anything.
Yeah.
Being right on the edge and listening to exactly what I need to hear, that was just perfect. I had the perfect Powerhouse Women experience this year.
Isn't it wild
and it looked
how that
nothing
room just
like
does it for you? It's bananas.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to call that your last night in the car moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're a week out from almost from the experience. Have you noticed a difference in Jess?
Yes. Yeah. And I would say it's subtle, but I think what it's turning into now is it's a surrendering, because I really see like the masculine feminine dynamic as a, it's a vessel and a provider of energy and light to that vessel, meaning like Jessica's the vessel. She has desires and needs. She wants to grow that vessel. And so it's like her communicating that to me allows me to bring more light into her life.
Okay, I have a question about the experience. So did you utilize, imagine you did, any breath work to recover or to bring yourself back to, to ground yourself, to come back home to like an energetic, safe place? Talk to me about that a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. So at Powerhouse Women, there was just so much energy, right? And the buzz, the hype, I freaking love it.
You guys, you have to go to this thing. Like, it's unexplainable. You cannot capture it in an explanation. There's no words.
Yes. And so I love it. I thrive in that, right? But where I was at, like that was not supporting me and my nervous system. And so when I was laying there out in the hallway, I was like, this does not look pretty. Like there were multiple women before the staff was supporting me. They were like, are you good? Are you okay? I'm just like laying sprawled out on this couch, like in my like cute outfit.
Yeah. At least you had a cute outfit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And in laying there, when it comes to my breath, because I was feeling like really shaken up, not feeling well, I focus on deep belly breaths. And what that does is it activates our parasympathetic nervous system. I was very sympathetic, right? I was like fight, flight. I wanted to get out of that room as soon as possible, right? And so I was just doing deep belly breaths and just slowing it down. Even when I could hear in the distance Patty and Priscilla getting back on stage, and it was just like turned up. And here I was grounding myself, coming back into my body. And those breaths were, the way I see like deep belly breaths are like, they're like little love notes to your body of like, you're safe, you are okay, and all is well.
Yeah.
And so I just had to keep reminding myself of that with my breath, but then also letting my conscious mind know that too.
Yeah.
That I am safe, and this is temporary. Right? I think that sometimes when we are in these states of fight, flight, or freeze, we feel like it just takes over. It just feels like that's all that we can see. And so we have to remind ourselves that this pain that we're feeling is temporary. And if I can allow myself to embrace this pain, embrace the process, I will move through this so much quicker. And I did. It was a matter of a couple of hours. And I would go through that again and again and again, if that meant that like I got to be on the other side of that and the breakthrough. Absolutely.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to us a little bit about, because we want to give everyone that, right? That modality to be able to anchor into when they're suffering, to go, I'm going to get through this. Because there's people that, right, they'll have a bad day. They'll get the wrong email. The boss will talk to them. The client will break up with them. And it like throws off their whole week. Right?
Been there.
Yeah. I mean, we all have, right? And then we learn different tools and techniques to try and navigate that in a faster way or in a more efficient, better, healthy way. And breathwork is such a powerful way to do that. So talk to us about your method, where we can find it, how we can get educated on it and learn to breathe like the two of you.
Yeah. So what I just shared with a simple deep belly breath practice, that is beautiful in those moments where you are wanting to ground, to connect more with your body when you're spinning in your own head. That'll just bring you back to center. And that's beautiful. And it's a great quick practice that you can do really at any time. What we're talking about, and with our method with Reset Breathwork, it is that.
It's a journey.
Yes.
It's a journey.
We can't call it ayahuasca method. I mean, I'm just kidding. But like, maybe.
Yeah. Right.
For trademark purposes.
Okay. Yeah. For trademark purposes. But it's really that, and meditation on steroids.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times we have people coming to our events and like, oh, I've done some breath work before. I've done yoga for years. I've done some Wim Hof in the past. And then at the end, they're like, oh, this is like a whole nother level. Like I've done breath work, but I've never done it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we say reset breath work, it is like pressing a giant reset button on your mind, your nervous system, your energy, so much so to the point where people come out and they're like, that was like a rebirth.
I can't wait.
a rebirth. Like I feel like a completely brand new person in just one session.
Yeah.
They can see everything more clearly. They're like, this is who I was always meant to be. And I found her again. And so what makes it different is that it is a conscious connected breathwork practice. And there are a couple other ones out there, also known as circular breathing. So you're breathing in a continuous pattern, in a hypnotic pattern. So there's no breath holds, there's no stopping at the top or the bottom. It is a journey.
It's a journey.
Right. And it's long form. You're lying down the entire time, and then we take you through. It's guided the entire experience. But what's unique about Reset Breathwork is that we use the conscious connected breathing pattern. So you breathe through the mouth the entire time, 2 breaths in, 1 breath out. But we also combine affirmations with the experience. So at certain points, we guide you, and our facilitators are trained to guide you to say certain affirmations out loud during the process. And why it's so powerful is because it will help you go beyond your conscious mind and just doing mindset work. So people are like, oh yeah, I've done affirmations, or I've written out a Post-it note and put like, you are powerful on the mirror, but you may not actually believe it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's the whole thing. I mean, you were there. I talked about this on another podcast today too, about how there's a difference in studying self-development and embodying it, living it, breathing it. It's exactly what you're saying when it comes to affirmations.
Exactly. And a powerful affirmation that we see a lot of entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, struggle with is I am worthy.
Yeah.
Where they know in their conscious mind that they are worthy. They could be that bitch, right? And they show up that way.
We are here for that.
Yeah.
Yes, energy.
Yes. But there is silently this part of them that doesn't believe it. They don't actually feel that they are worthy. And it's showing up in their bank account. It's showing up in the relationships they're attracting. It's showing up with the way that they're selling.
Yeah.
And they're like, where's the disconnect? So come back to Reset Breathwork. The affirmations land and people believe them because through the breath, they're actually shifting their emotional state.
They're rewiring.
They're rewiring. And Joe Dispenza has this amazing formula. If you want to transform anything in your life, you want to get results, it's a simple formula. It's intentional thought plus an elevated emotional state equals the results that you desire. So people are oftentimes focused on the intentional thought, like the goal, the desire, right? The affirmation, but they aren't shifting their emotional state. They're saying, oh, like I am worthy. I am worthy.
Yeah.
Get yourself in that emotional state. You say I'm worthy.
Hunched over, not
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why we bring affirmations into the chat with Reset Breathwork. Also, we use the power of visualizations because your mind, when your eyes are closed, does not know the difference between what's real and what's imagined.
Isn't that cool?
It's so cool.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's a great mind trick. Right?
It's like mental gymnastics. Hello, trick yourself. Let's
exactly.
Go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you don't want to believe it, let's trick it. Because we can.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So like Cory was saying, it's like a journey. So we guide you through a journey using visuals so you can see certain aspects of yourself. You can see these things manifest. So when people come out, they're like, that felt real. Like I actually did it. Now I just have to go make it happen out there. And they actually have the power to do that.
I already have my intention for your next in-person session.
Okay.
My intention just dropped in.
Okay.
Dropped in. Got it.
Okay.
Amazing. Perfect.
This is incredible.
I love it. I love it. So already planting seeds.
Yeah, already planting seeds.
This is great. Yeah. So last couple of things with Reset Breathwork is we use somatic release. So somatic just means of the body, right? Yeah. So we guide you to move your physical body, move the energy, right? We stay so tense and stuck. So we move the energy through quite literally movement, through screaming, through laughter, like actually getting you to evoke these emotions, getting them out.
Yeah.
Because we stuff so much inside, so much that we don't even realize, by the way. So we just help to gently nudge and push those emotions out, right? And then we also use very specific music sequencing. So we really build in the experience, like you're climbing like a mountain. So we're going to push you. We're going to challenge you to get to that summit. But then we're going to bring you back down into really, really deep rest by the end.
It's the back door to your parasympathetic nervous system, really, is what it is.
Yeah.
And so many people, I think, are afraid of that. It's like, oh, we're going sympathetic. It's like, in a safe setting, in a setting where it'll be a direct contradiction to your past. Yep. It will be a direct contradiction to any kind of trauma or emotions that you've been dealing with. And that's the neurological hiccup that you need, like you were saying, to trick your nervous system into being like, oh,
switch
that's not that big of a deal.
Switch the script out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
But it's actually the act of it, like you were saying.
Totally.
Versus just thinking about it and
Or
intellectualizing
embodying
it. It's like, you got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, you got to do it again and again and again and again.
Well, and I think because ayahuasca is intimidating, right?
Absolutely.
So to be able to access a journey or experience, or to even compare it to something like that, is incredible, because the transformation, anyone you can talk to that's done ayahuasca, they're a different person.
Yeah.
And so to be able to access that just through a reset workshop is insane.
It's insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
Incredibly powerful.
Well, and what's great too is if people are afraid, it's like you have the gas pedal and the brake, which is your breath.
Right.
When you take ayahuasca, you're in.
Well, you're
in.
Where's your conviction, right? Yeah,
Right.
you're in.
Like you're not getting out. You're in.
It just happened.
Right.
Full send.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and it's deciding, right? When's your last night in the car going to be?
Mm-hmm.
For someone listening to this, what does that equate to for you, right?
That's right.
So, okay, let's talk about how we can access this incredible modality. So I know that you do in-person workshops. I'm so excited. I don't know exactly when this will air, but I'm going to your one on the 21st of September.
Awesome.
And it's going to be at Kiln in downtown Gilbert, or Santan, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. But you also do virtual workshops.
Yeah.
Yes.
So people from anywhere can access this incredible tool. So talk to us about where we can find you and all the good things.
Yes, that's right. That's the easiest way to access Reset Breathwork.
Okay.
Is to come to one of our virtual workshops. They happen every single month, and every single month is different. We always have a different theme. So the next one coming up is Breathwork for Detox. We just had Breathwork for Sustainable Success, for leaders to be able to actually sustain the momentum that they have without crashing and burning. So every single month, different intention, and it's always a different group, different people coming live, and
different energies.
It's different energies. It's really, really special. And you always get the replay as well. So even if you can't make it live, you'll get the recording. It's a great way to also dive back in, practice on your own, and really have more of that consistent practice. So how you can find that is just going to thehealingcouple.com/events, see which workshop we have coming up the next month, see if the theme resonates with you, and join us. And I'd actually love to just throw in, if you wouldn't.
Yeah.
For your listeners, use the code BREATHE100 and you'll get your first one completely free as a gift on us.
Oh, that is so kind.
Yeah. So you have no excuse. Not to.
We just removed the barrier that you were making up in your head. It's gone.
Yes. And we have all sorts of people. I mean, we just had like a SEAL team guy the other day. So it's just like we have all sorts of people from all backgrounds coming into this experience each month, and it does change people's lives. Yeah. So we'd love to have you.
Oh, look at that invitation, you guys. You can't say no to that. So Breathe 100, we'll put it in the show notes. And what would give us actually, you know what? We're going to do this. I love doing this with all of my guests, because I feel like as entrepreneurs, we don't celebrate enough. And especially the micro wins, like the tiny ones, it's those big ones. And then even the big ones, you're like, okay, on to the next one. Yes. And so I like to encourage people to practice to celebrate the small ones. So could you both share with me a magic moment that you've had this last week that we can help you celebrate?
The Christmas thing was pretty cool. Which and
that literally happened like right before you walked in to do this with us?
Well, yeah, Jessica was like in a meeting and whatnot. And so right before we drove over here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible.
Yeah. But what are we celebrating this week?
I mean,
this is so funny. This is like what we coach our clients on.
Why don't you do? Let's do like one individually and then do one together.
Okay.
I am celebrating this week. We had so many tests come up. And specifically, like in one day, we had probably like 5 good tests, like on Wednesday. It was just like another thing, an upset, this person, that, what about this? Like
emails,
so many,
client didn't show up for a call.
Yeah, like firefighting.
Yes.
That doesn't usually happen.
Yeah. And it was just like in a short amount of time. And I was like, no show with a client, very unusual, didn't hear from her. Like it just a number of things. And things just breaking, not working. I'm like, okay, I am here for this. And I am celebrating how we both showed up that day, because that type of day, just so many fires have to put out. We would have probably taken ourselves out.
Yes.
And just in like talking about it, right? And just all the extra conversations that we would have probably added on top of the already challenging situations. And we laughed. And then I also, like, I was making lunch, and then I was making avocado toast, and egg broke all over the kitchen floor. And I just started
when you look up and you're
laughing.
like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Another thing?
Yeah, and I just started laughing, and I could tell you were kind of like, "Oh my God." And then you just started laughing. It's just like the joy that we
That's
just brought to
beautiful.
that day.
Yeah.
And we were able to move through it so much more seamlessly
Yeah.
and we just kept telling ourselves that there is so much light trying to come in. There are
Amen,
so
sis.
many gifts and so many blessings that are trying to rush in right now. So thank you for these tests. And if I pass these tests, that light is coming in. So I'm here to ace this kind of test.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like invoicing the
Ace.
universe, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm waiting.
Oh my gosh.
I'm waiting.
Ace
I'm
the
billing you.
test. That is such a good way to look at challenges.
Yeah.
Are you going to ace it or not?
Mhm.
And I love that you celebrated that because that is such progress. When we can have hard shit thrown at us and not let it derail our entire day, that is definitely something to celebrate. I love it.
Yeah.
Congrats. Kudos
Thank
to you.
you.
I'm celebrating
Thank
with you.
Yes, I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's one that you guys would celebrate like as a couple?
I think the big one has been most people think we're married
Yeah.
because we have that married energy, like Jessica
You
was
do have
talking about.
married energy.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'd say, like, in the beginning of our relationship, I was calling my mom, saying she's the one. We were doing the long distance. I even think one time when we were doing long distance, I lived in Tempe. I had a condo off of 101 on Broadway. It's
Uh-huh.
like 6 lanes, you know?
Yeah.
And she called me. She's like, "Hey, I'm like driving down Broadway. I'm almost here." And I got out of my condo and was like running down the street to her, and she's on her phone going, "Is that you? What are you doing?" I was just like so infatuated with her. And then like flipped the script, like ended up, not taking that next step, but we were dating for a long time. And then you have really been desiring to take the next step. And so recently we just got engaged last year, which has been super awesome. But what I want to celebrate this week is we've been taking some major steps on a wedding.
I saw the venue.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank
And so
you.
locking that in, like
Mhm.
really taking the steps to do that. And honestly, like I think historically, the woman in the relationship would do that kind of stuff. I actually found the venue. And I
love
actually like
this.
coordinated all of it. And it felt really good to do that. I
It
was like,
is-
screw all the stereotypes. Like, this venue's sick.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm
Like-
selfishly inviting myself to the wedding. I'm here. I'm here for it. I need to be there now. We've gone there. We went straight to ayahuasca. I get an invitation.
Totally.
There we go.
Can I piggyback off of
Sure.
that?
Yeah,
That's
of
celebration?
course.
Because what I want to celebrate also about that is that just owning the desire of having a wedding.
Yeah.
For quite a while leading up to even just these last couple of months, we're like, we'll just get eloped. We'll just make it super small, like no biggie. And what I realized is that I was totally diminishing this next step, this next iteration
Yeah.
of us.
Mm.
And just allowing ourselves to play in the desire, just starting to go to venues, I was like, oh, this is actually what I want. And that is totally okay to invite people to fly out, to like be here for this big and special day. That, and then also, yeah, the way that you have looked for venues. I mean, he has just like
I'm an investigator.
all the
Investigate.
details.
I see
Yeah.
that. I read
And
that.
it's been actually really funny to hear the conversations where people are like, wait a minute, shouldn't I be talking to Jessica? Like, and that he is
No,
just
Isn't
like,
eyes
it
right
funny,
here.
those dynamics?
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they happen all the time in the reverse. Like people think they're supposed to be talking to the man. And then
Yep.
when it's wedding planning, all of a sudden it's on us.
right.
That's
Right.
hilarious. It's such an incredible dynamic to see.
It's been
Yeah.
great. And I've been loving it. And again, just another reminder that I do get to receive and let him fulfill on my desires and not push that away or make it wrong. And it's just been a really fun season that I just didn't ever think that we would be in as far as the way that we're going about our marriage and wedding. So
That is
that's
such
been
a
fun.
beautiful celebration.
Yeah.
Congrats to you too.
Thank you.
So where can the Magic Makers find you? Where's
Yeah.
the best place to connect with you guys?
Best place to connect is Instagram. We love hanging out on the gram.
Love the
so
gram.
at the healing couple _ it pop up as Dr. Cory and Jess. And seriously, shoot us a DM if there's any part of this conversation that really resonated with you.
Yeah.
Say hello and let us know what landed for you. Like we'd really love to hear that, and also love to see you at one of our next monthly workshops.
Yeah, don't sleep on the incredible offer. Thank
Yeah.
you guys so much for so graciously sharing that and for sharing your energy with the audience. And you guys are just a beautiful couple. And I can't wait for the workshop. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Magic Makers, if this show resonated with you, like, subscribe, and review. And don't forget to go talk to Dr. Cory and Jess.